Well, I'm going to talk about foreign aid now. Last year we spent £50 million to China, arguably the richest country in the world. It's certainly got the second biggest economy and it's booming. We all know about China. It is not a poor country. We sent it 50 million quid last year. We continue to send it millions of pounds. At one point, a couple of years back, we sent it money to fund a programme to teach people how to grow rice. We literally sent them China money to teach them how to grow rice. We also send billions, or not billions, millions to India, which has its own space programme, and so on and so forth. We're supposed to, under United Nations terms, send a percentage of our gross national income to underprivileged countries, what they call them now, developing nations. Used to be called third world nations. You've got to keep up with the terms. So developing nations, and some of our members of parliament are concerned that now we give 0.7% of our national income to foreign aid, but it might be reduced to 0.3%. Given the times we're living in, I've got a better idea. Let's reduce it to 0.0%. Let's talk to the digital campaign manager at the TaxPayers Alliance, Joe Ventre. Afternoon, Joe.
Hello, Kevin. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for joining us. Yes, foreign aid, I suppose it's a nice thing, and certainly lots and lots of MPs, our elected representatives, love to polish their halos about foreign aid and signal their virtue. Oh, let's give lots of money to foreign countries, to poor people. Aren't I wonderful? Well, yeah, you're wonderful, but we're poor. And what about us? So why on earth, given right now we've got this Chinese balloon drama going on, China is quite clearly, culturally at least, our enemy. Xi Jinping can't stand us. It's obvious. And yet we pump millions of pounds over to that country a couple of years ago, literally to help teach some peasants how to grow rice. 50 million there, a few million to India, you know the drill. Why do we continue to persevere with foreign aid in these tough times when, of course, charity begins at home? The government should be spending this money on us, shouldn't it?
You're absolutely right, Kevin, and I think there is absolutely no one who could give a credible answer to your question there in terms of why are we giving this money to China. I mean, even if you take away the element of the sort of hostility now that we're seeing from the Chinese state, this is the second richest or the second largest economy in the world. So, giving millions of pounds to a country like this in that position is absolutely untenable. I think, it makes a mockery of the concept of overseas aid. It makes a mockery of the concept of charity. And it's making a mockery of taxpayers as well. I think it absolutely has to come to an end.
Indeed, and we've got two redoubtable Tory grandees today, Sir Iain Duncan Smith and David Davis, saying this has to end. We must stop this. It's madness. I agree with that. And then they say, by the next election. Well, why not just stop it right now? So, phone Beijing and say, hey, Xi, you're not getting any more British money. Stop it now.
Well, this is it, and it's such a hot-button issue with taxpayers because it's just plainly an injustice. I mean, you mentioned there the programme where they were, I believe it was, they spent nearly £500,000 on a programme to teach people how to grow rice. Yeah. Some other things that we found in that investigation were an adaptation of Shaun the Sheep for China, which was £500,000 towards that, £160,000 for Chinese opera project. Ludicrous sums. You look at what's going on in the world right now with things, the absolute disaster that's happened in Syria and Turkey. And you think, we are, generally speaking, a prosperous country, right, compared to the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. We should have a system where, on a needs basis, we can make aid available. But, of course, this concept that we have where we have a spending target means that we just send this arbitrary amount of money out into the world and expect nothing back from it and, send it to these ludicrous projects. I think it absolutely has to come to an end.
Yeah, British people are by nature generous. The Sun readers are incredibly, in about 2 days flat, have raised more than £1 million for Turkey. So we look at Turkey. Those people deserve as much aid as we can muster, obviously. I'm not saying that we cut off all generosity on the part of Britain, but right now, Brits, millions of Brits, most Brits are really suffering. And the fact that these MPs mess around talking about it's a tragedy. It looks as if the amount of money we give to foreign aid, currently 0.7% of our national income, may be reduced to 0.3%. That's a tragedy. That's a disaster. No, it's not. Do us a favour, reduce it to 0.0%. Don't forget another great project, Joe, that you'll no doubt know about. Probably you guys revealed it at the Taxpayers Alliance. Do you remember that we funded the Ethiopian Spice Girls, some pop group in Ethiopia? We gave them money so they could become international stars. How did that work out? Not too well. But this is insanity.
It is, and you know, this is real people's real money, right? We're talking about billions upon billions of pounds every year, taken from, you know, my pocket, your pocket, people who will shortly be driving home from work's pocket. You know, this is real money, which is taken from us, supposedly in earnest, and just shoveled out the door to meet an arbitrary spending target. And, you know, like you said, it goes to things like the Ethiopian Spice Girls, to adaptations of Shaun the Sheep. You know, these are not the sort of projects that charitable people want to see their money going towards, and it just seems like, you know, there's so much accountability over this. You know, we expose these sorts of things, other groups expose these sorts of things, and yet the government is all too willing to sort of, you know, wax lyrical about these things and say things are going to improve, and yet again we see another year of £50 million going to China. It makes absolutely no sense, and it really does have to change.
And when they have these parliamentary debates about foreign aid in the Commons, they all jump up like jack-in-the-boxes, you know, desperately, as I say, trying to signal their virtue, polish their halo. Oh, we must give more money and more money. It's like, hang on, we voted for you people. We didn't actually vote for you to take our tax money and give it to Ethiopia for the Spice Girls or rice-growing projects in China. Nobody voted for that. But it's these MPs who take the opportunity. This is why I came into politics, you know, to help people. You know, they're just getting off on it, and we are paying the price. They've got to spend this money on us. They've got to stop this now, haven't they?
They have. Look, you know, you're absolutely right. I mean, we know that foreign aid in its current form is incredibly unpopular. You know, when you talk to people, you see it in national opinion polls, it's incredibly unpopular because, like I said, you know, it makes a mockery of the concept of helping out people in need. And, you know, like you said, there are people in this country right now that are in need, ordinary, hard-working taxpayers trying to make their way, trying to run their own business, you know, trying to just hold down their job and make their energy bills meet. And they're the ones that need help. And the way that the government can help them is by leaving them with their own money in their pocket. And, you know, cutting down on foreign aid or reforming the foreign aid system from over needs basis is one really easy and really popular way to do that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in better times when our economy is booming and everybody's got a few quid in their pockets, happy days, if only. But maybe when that happens, yeah, sure, we'll turn around and hand out a few quid to underprivileged developing countries. But right now, no, it's just madness.